Hello, fellow explorers. What is coming to you in this next cycle? We have a new week beginning, but we also have the Chinese Lunar New Year. So it's associated with China, but celebrated in many parts around the world. And this year we are celebrating the year of the metal rat. So what is coming to you in these massive new beginnings that we are starting this cycle? Go ahead and jump on into this tarot pick a card reading and we'll find out. Hello, fellow explorers. Welcome to the Mystic Lemur. My name is Rita, and it is my honor to be your guide through the messages in this reading. Today, we are looking at the energies of this upcoming week, which also happens to be starting out with the Lunar New Year, the year of the metal rat. The Lunar New Year energies are all about bringing luck into the life that we have going forward and rejuvenating those things that are still serving us but maybe need a bit of a polish up, and letting go of those things that are no longer serving us. We also have the reverence for those people in our families who may no longer be with us, so remembering those who are still supporting us but maybe from a different level. Today we have 3 piles to pick from. We have pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. That's pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. So letting your intuitive knowing step forward by finding your way to your comfortable seated position. That may be into a chair or on the floor. Anywhere where you can begin to get that sense of rooting down into the earth beneath you, pulling that nourishing energy of the earth up through the roots that you've grown out of your feet, your legs, your sits bones, through your stacked spine, all the way up through the crown of your head, and bringing the nourishing, healing, cleansing light of the cosmos back down through your crown chakra, shining both out through your heart, letting your intuitive inner guidance step forward to speak to you. Coming to hone in onto whichever pile or piles speaks to you. And we'll go ahead and jump on in. If you need a few more moments, please pause the video here. Otherwise, we're going to pile number 1. Okay, pile number 1. So for our first, this is a big, she's a thick pile this time. We're going to go ahead and have a look at what the previous year's summary, so what are the themes of the previous year for you? You had the 9 of Wands. And what are the lessons that you've learned from the past year? We have the Chariot. All right, so I'm already seeing you've gone through quite a lot of trials and tribulations in the past year, and what you've learned is to persevere. The 9 of Wands is all about, again, having gone through the thick of it. You've been through the battles, but you are, a bit battered and bruised, but you're still ready to keep soldiering on. And with this Chariot, this archetypal energy of, again, having that inspired action, you've learned what you needed to learn from these battles, and you're striving forward. You are blessed in having support of spirit and doing what it is that you've finally honed in on what you need to be doing from all of these contrasts that you've been experiencing. What are your aspirations? What are you trying to bring about into your life in the next 12 months? Oh, interesting. We have the Devil card. All right, so the Devil card could be an indication of the energies of Capricorn. Capricorn is the zodiac sign of the European system that is the ruler of this card. Capricorn is all about having a sort of business acumen, being a good business person, maybe setting up your legacy. Could also be that maybe those things that you have been striving through have given you more clarity on what it is that you want, but the aspirations that you're still holding on to, maybe still burdened with this bondage here, maybe still burdened with this these things that don't really serve you in the long run. So that may be an indication to pay attention to what it is that you actually desire and whether or not it's actually serving you. What might you be empowered by in reaching these aspirations? So what are the things that would support you in reaching these aspirations? Group number 1, we have the 4 of Wands. Interesting. Right, so 4 of Wands in reverse. What we see here is we have this releasing of this bondage here, but it's in reverse, which might mean that you're supported in getting forward to what you genuinely find supportive of your higher self. But right now, again, it's being blocked because you're needing to turn this inward to, again, really make sure that those things that are holding you back are things that are, bonds that you no longer need. And if you can shift them, you need to start with the inner work to get that shifting through and done. So what are the things that stand in your way of reaching your aspirations? So we've already got some indication that you've been through the thick of things, you're learning to align, but you may still have aspirations that are holding you back. You might still be thinking small, or still be thinking too literally, still be thinking too much in the physical plane. And this is an indication that you're supported in finding those things that do fully align with your higher self, because the messages of this channel are all about finding your alignment with your higher self. You need to turn inward. What are the things that might block you from finding the aspirations? We have the Knight of Chalices. This is bringing your emotional body into service of your greater being. The Knights are all about service, and they are combine the element of air with whatever the suit is that they are part of. And the suit of chalices, or the suit of cups, is all about emotions. So it could be that part of what you're feeling this limitation with, you may be feeling limited in what you think you can aspire to, taking this dive into the emotions so that your emotional body is not blocking you but serving you. And this Knight of Chalices is typically the romantic of the deck, but in this particular imagery, he looks rather a lot like the Scorpio version of water energy. So it could be that there's a dive into the subconscious, or maybe into the shadow, that would be supportive of you, but may also be a bit scary, because things that are in the shadow are there for a reason, and we don't want to look at them because they're unpleasant. So finding that space of being comfortable in discomfort, and this sort of fear of stepping into your shadow may be blocking you. What are the relationships and emotions? Speaking on that note of emotions, what are the relationships and emotions that are coming to you in the upcoming year, in the upcoming cycle? We have the Ace of Pentacles. All right, so if you are aspiring to level up in the money domain, you are supported in doing that. And the emotions that you will find, the relationships that you find, will be very grounded. They'll be very tangible. And could also be an indication that if this is for a love reading, or you're manifesting an intention of finding your love in your life, it could be an earth sign. So that's a Taurus, Taurus, Gemini, and Capricorn. So again, it could be an indication that you're a Capricorn. Maybe this is the Capricorn person that you're trying to pull into your life, but do be careful that they are actually someone who is supportive of you and not weighing you down or tying you into things that don't serve you. What is your current career and financial situation? What's the outlook for your career and finances in the next cycle? We have the Six of Swords, so very auspicious, coming up under the double here as well. So the Six of Swords is all about going from turbulence to calm. So another meaning of the devil is finding your passions. Could be, again, very low vibrational passions, so do be mindful of the intention and the sensation around those passions. But with this coming in from things that have been turbulent, things that have been troubling you, into a space of peace. So that is a very positive looking card. What is your health and well-being outlook for the next cycle? We have the Knight of Wands. All right, so not only are you maybe challenged by dealing with the shadow energy, but you are in your well-being looking to align and bring your energetic body into your service for your well-being. So this could be an indication that something like breath work or meditation work, something that will help you align your physical and your mental body, which will help you step into that energetic space. So the energetic body, part of when we talk about the chakras, that's part of the energetic body system. So bringing that into alignment. And we've got fire, wands energy coming down this line. So definitely this supporting you by turning this energy of finding this shedding of your identity, starting from the inside, is supported with this well-being coming from your alignment and maintenance of your energetic body. What is the spiritual energy and inner fulfillment that you can look forward to in the next cycle? We have the High Priestess. All right, so the High Priestess, she's all about tapping into the esoteric realm, into the things that are unseen. She's the space between the yin and the yang, so these sort of apparent opposite dualities, she's the sort of the union between them. And so you are really supported in a space of coming into your intuition, of coming into that space where you are noticing that the things in life that seem very cut and dry, very black and white, are a lot more nuanced, and looking into that nuance and sitting into that nuance, which also aligns with this coming through the battles and maybe dealing with the shadow that might be challenging you. The High Priestess in that spiritual dimension will be supporting you. What do you need most to focus on in the year ahead? So what should you really be drawing your attention to for the year ahead? The Magician, very interesting, coming up in reverse and coming up right next to the High Priestess. So the Magician, upright, is all about the more masculine, the more agentic version of manifestation, that the magic in the life that the High Priestess would talk about. So what you need to focus on the most, instead of being this agentic go-getter, could be resonating this desire that you have that's coming up with this Devil Capricorn energy. Instead of being so pushing and so agentic and forcing things to happen in your life, being more receptive, being more allowing, looking more into that nuance, and allowing for things to be a bit more complex, less literal than you think. So in this dimension that we live in, this world of physicality, and especially as we are so scientistic and we are so reductionistic in the way that we think about things, we tend to be quite literal. And this can be coming up here with this devil energy. So being less literal about things will be part of what comes up for you with the High Priestess, and really seeing into that higher vibrational perspective. So what is your most important lesson of the year ahead? We have the Knave of Pentacles in reverse. All right, so interesting. We have this earthy energy coming up under this Devil card here, and with the coming into the peace of the mind, coming from turbulence to a peaceful mind. So it could be that you're, again, having this experience of aligning with an earth sign energy for romantic connections. But this also might be indicating you are trying to bring about a change in your physical abundance and your financial well-being. But that's would be the new direction in your finances and your physicality would be an indication of it upright. Coming up in reverse, this is speaking to me of you needing to take the inner work on to do this transformation, because it starts, manifestations start from the inside. So this is another indication that we might be getting from this Magician in reverse. You need to be the inner alchemist first and do the identity work. So I personally have been really working through this myself, because for a long time I've been making my identity up by default and letting other people tell me who I was. But instead of sticking with that, it's much more important for you to be the one who decides in this inspired action. Inspired action requires that union of the yin and the yang, because the inspiration is that yin, is that receptivity of something that spirit is indicating to you, or your higher self, or your inner being, your subconscious mind is indicating to you as something that you are drawn to. And then the action is the part that unifies it. The action is that more sort of masculine energy. So in order to do that, you need to have that space for the intuition, for the inspiring part of the inspired action to come forward. And that does require taking that space of restful mind, coming into peace in your mind, to allow this transformation to come through. Finally, what are the overall themes that you're headed into in the next 12 months or in the next cycle? Whatever cycle might be coming towards you at the point of this reading. We have the Ace of Wands in reverse. So not only do we have this line of fire energy here coming through, new directions. So it could be that you have a lot of fire energy in your chart, or you're a very sort of fiery, passionate person. Coming up in reverse, this is maybe indicating that you, again, need to make sure that your fire is serving you internally and it's not burning you out. It could also be an indication that if you have a lot of that fire energy in your chart, making sure it's in balance, because it might be coming up out of balance. Again, with the reversals in this deck. So what is the overall sort of supporting background energies for you, the back of the deck energy? We have the context here of the Eight of Chalices. So moving away from something that no longer serves you. Letting go of those things that are holding you back, especially letting go of bondages, letting go of things that are keeping your mind turbulent, and possibly also allowing yourself to step into the shadow. So these both are cards that could speak about stepping into the subconscious and allowing those things to no longer be writing the story for you, but you're writing your own story. All right, so the healing words of wisdom for you, group number 1. I have the imagery here. Try to avoid harmful influences. Yep. So be very mindful of those things that you are focusing on and you are intending in the next year, because they can be things that you are passionate about. Passion is good. Passion can be a thing that serves you, but do make sure it is in service of you and not something that is going to be burning you out. All right, those are the messages I have for you, group number 1. Please let me know in the comments below how you find this reading. I was experimenting with something a little bit new here. And also, if you like this video, give it a like. If you like the vibe of this channel, give us a subscribe. Love to have you aboard as part of the community. We're growing here, and I look forward to seeing you again. Until then, we'll move on to group number 2. All right, group number 2. What is coming for you in the next cycle? Honoring this Lunar New Year, giant new beginnings as we begin a new cycle in the animals and in the elements of the Chinese zodiac. What are the things that you're completing? What are the things that you're aspiring to? And what are the things that are going to possibly be lessons and challenges for you to deal with? So first, what are the previous summary of the previous cycle? What have you been experiencing, going through in the past cycle that you've been completing? Right now, group number 2, we have the 3 of Pentacles. So what you've been coming through, you've been learning how to express your truth. You've been learning how to create, co-create. The 3 of Pentacles is as we're stepping out of the balance of the 2 of Pentacles, we're beginning to grow and to expand, and doing so in a way that, with the imagery of this card, again, is very aligned with creativity and with expression of who you are. So that's really the theme that's been coming up for the past cycle for you. What are the lessons that you've learned from that past cycle? We have the 5 of Swords. This is another challenge card here. 5s in the minor arcana are about things that are hard, difficult, and in these swords, this is the element of the mind. So you are possibly still dealing with learning how to let your mind come to rest, how to not push things, or how to, not have that sort of fighting energy in your mind. Allowing for things to come a bit more easily. For me, it was the resonance of this card is something like I'd always been kind of a fighter, or maybe really argumentative, and really heavily into debate, and it's like I always had to have the last word. So the lessons here are noticing when those things are coming up for you and possibly no longer serving you. So what are your aspirations for the next cycle? What are you looking to create, manifest into your life for the next cycle? Group number 2, we have the Empress. All right, so you are looking to be very abundant, very fertile, looking for that energy of coming into your divine feminine, coming into that receptivity and that especially maybe looking to become a parent or looking to produce something in your life that has great meaning that you can be nurturing towards, and also just bringing in the finer things in life. These are all the energies of the Empress. So what are the things that are supporting you in bringing about those aspirations? Group number 2, we have the Two of Chalices. So bringing in balance to your emotions, and the imagery here is also possibly of bringing in a love partnership, and at the very least bringing in that union of your inner masculine and inner feminine energies through the emotional body. So again, you may identify as being primarily masculine or feminine. Everyone has those energies, so coming to a way of balancing them, especially as you're trying to step forward into more of this divine feminine. Excuse me. What are the things that might be challenging you or blocking you? And so this is what's supporting you, what might be challenging you in getting those aspirations to come through. We have the Nine of Chalices. So a lot of emotional energy coming through here, especially your last cycle was about learning about the mind, learning about coming into expression. This current cycle, you're challenged in acknowledging the emotional abundance that you already have. So you're close to coming into this completion, but it's not completely physically externally apparent to you yet. It's starting more subtly. It's starting from the inside, and you need to really take the time to hone in and focus in on those things that are going well for you. And so if it's about finding that partnership that will allow you to become a parent, some of you may be looking to that. Don't focus on the absence of that partner. Focus on the feeling of how it will be when that partner is in your life, and that's how you can help bring them into your life in a more meaningful, physical way. And what can we offer you as some of the energies that have been the relationships, the emotional relationships, the emotional connections that you can look forward to in the next cycle? The relationships and emotions coming for you in the next cycle, we have, death. Interesting. So, yeah. If you're looking for that love connection, if you're looking for that union with your counterpart, that might be that someone that you're with or some way that you're with someone has to transform. So the Death card can be a bit challenging, can be a bit scary, but this is all about renewal. But in order to have a renewal, something needs to go away. So the emotional connections, the romance in your life will be transformed if you take on this work, but the road there could be a bit challenging. So what's coming for you in your work and financial domain in the next cycle? We have the Three of Chalices in reverse. So Three of Chalices is again all about the emotions. So we got a lot of emotional energy coming forward for you, and it's also about connections of authentic, intimate friendship. So that sort of really deep platonic love and celebrating that platonic connection. Coming up in reverse, this might be an indication that you are not only trying to bring in a love connection, but you're also trying to bring in your vibe tribe or your friend connections. So coming up in reverse, that may be an indication that the transformations could be happening through your friend groups. Could also be that you need to make sure that you are a friend to yourself first, and allowing for that that support, almost like you're building yourself a tripod of your own emotional energy that will help you through maybe letting go of friendships that have moved away from you because it's coming up in finances, coming up in your career domain. It could be that your work community is shifting, transforming in a way that you might find you need to begin with evaluating how you energetically and emotionally are showing up into that work relationship, work dynamic, and like seeing the people that you're around and seeing what they're bringing into your vibration. So if you're around the office water cooler or wherever it is that people congregate, and just continuing to amplify stories of things that make you feel crappy, then expect for things to continue to be crappy. But if you can notice that and begin to replenish yourself from your own well, then the people who are bringing this heaviness into your life, you might notice, are not actually the ones who are bringing it in, and you're just allowing it in, and you will stop allowing that in. What is coming for you in your health and well-being domain in the next cycle? Group number 2. we have the King of Pentacles. So you may be challenged in your emotional relationships and figuring out how you're connecting with people in your career domain, but in your health, you're looking quite supported. So coming to this grounded and mature, providing for yourself, really supporting yourself, giving yourself the structure. This could be self-discipline to get into those Virgo-like routines. So like taking care of yourself, getting to the gym, having a really mindful morning routine where you're eating high vibrational plant-based foods, you're drinking a lot of water, you're doing some kind of physical activity. It could be walking, running, yoga, whatever suits you. That's really going to be supporting you in making this a really healthy physical year for you and coming to that peak of your physical maturity as well, really stepping up in that domain. So what's coming for you spiritually in the next cycle? Group number 2, we have the 8 of Wands in reverse. So a lot of internal expansion coming up through this. You've learned to express yourself, to be creative, and you're challenged in acknowledging the good in your life that you already have, especially if this, I'm looking with this drawing in maybe a romantic relationship that's supporting you in becoming this nurturing character in your life. And we also have this maybe challenge around connecting with people in your workplace. The inner work here is to start from yourself, start to notice the emotional good. It could be that you're feeling a bit lonely, and that loneliness, it's a really tough space to be in because people can sense when you're lonely, and it's like they don't, it's really unfortunate, but especially people who are more in that space of being contingent, more in that space of living lives that are dependent on what other people think rather than they are the ones who are writing their stories. They're allowing other people to write their stories. They might think that that's catching. It's not. And that's what you're being asked to learn with this, coming into awareness of who's around you and how they might be draining upon you, or you're allowing them to siphon your energy off of you. The inner expansion here could be a bit overwhelming because it might all pop forward at you once because you're starting to do this work. That you're here even receiving this reading is indicating that you're ready to do this work. But it could be, again, challenging, transformative. Transformations are often challenging. So the inner expression of this will be that your consciousness is really going to pop wide open, but it will all happen internally first. And it could be, again, a bit overwhelming, but just ride with it. You'll be supported, noticing that the supports that you have are maybe starting out internally, maybe starting out from the spiritual realm, and looking to how this physical maturity, this physical taking care of yourself, is also supporting this energetic expression of yourself. So what do you have that you need to most focus on? What should you bring most of your attention to in the cycle coming ahead? We have the 10 of Wands. All right, so as I said, this is a lot of work that you're looking to sign up for, group number 2, and it could be a little bit overwhelming. So do be mindful that you're not overexerting yourself. The 10 of Wands is a card that's all about maybe overexerting, working too hard. But with the imagery of this card, it's also something that's talking about coming to maturity in your energy, coming to maturity in your spirit. She looks like she's quite in control, and we again have this energy here of the skull. So transformation, letting something old go away. So letting go of this this sort of mental blockage, this mental resistance, letting that transform and allowing that to level you up and mature you. Coming to this maturity, a couple of different cards of maturity coming through here. And we also have this feminine maturity as well. So what should you be looking to as an important lesson for the coming cycle for you? We have the World. All right, yep. Like I was saying, coming through completions. You are definitely supported with Saturn is the planet that rules this card. Saturn is all about restrictions, all about the Lord of Karma. And this could be that you are looking to release these karmic lessons that are coming forward to you. We also have the sort of 4 elements of the world on the edge around this World card. So bringing all the elements of your life together, finding balance in them, that can help you release these cycles that you may have been repeating. What is the overall theme that you might be experiencing in the next cycle? We have the Hermit in reverse. So yeah, like I was saying, that Virgo energy. Virgo is the astrological energy that rules this card, coming up in reverse, looking for the ways that you can serve yourself. So Virgo is also about service, and service is sort of the highest expression of the ways that we care for others. Helping is often motivated by pity, and pity is a way that we actually look down on people. Fixing is another way of sort of looking down on people because you can't fix something unless you think it's broken. So you're sort of already acknowledging people as being broken if you're trying to fix them. But service is a way of reflecting. So what I aim to do with these readings is to serve you by reflecting upon what I see in the world, and giving you that opportunity to use these readings as a mirror that you can reflect upon yourself and find the things that you need to do to grow. Because you're already whole, you're already complete. And this card is supporting you in saying that the overall theme, the overall context for what you are going to be looking to in the next cycle is finding that inner service to yourself. Coming to find those things that support you internally and begin to bring them about so that your external world can also support you. And the overall back of the deck energy for this entire reading, we have the Fool, right? So new beginnings. We coming through lots of completions. And like I said, this Lunar New Year cycle is a giant, big completion, 60 years of the cycle that preceded it. So stepping up into something new, taking that leap of faith. The overall healing words of wisdom for you, group number 2, imagery of the card. We have see yourself as you would see a friend. Be objective about it. So that is an indication that if you're into meditation, if you want to add that to your healthy rituals, the kind of meditation that might be really suitable for you right now is that sort of vipassana, or sitting in the space where you're just observing your inner dialogue. So observing the fighting energy that might be present in your mind, the challenges of your mind, and just allowing it to be, not trying to adjust anything, not trying to move anything around, just noticing. The very act of noticing can, again, bring up things that can help you with that internal expansion and maturing your spirit. So you don't need to judge, but just like detach, separate. So that's the objectivity, is don't make it so much that this is your identity, that you're experiencing or feeling these things. It's just these are clouds in the sky. They're passing by and you're just noticing them. So that's what I have for you, group number 2. I would love to hear what you think about this reading. Please let me know in the comments down below. Please also give this video a like if it hit you in some resonantial way. I'd love to have you continue to support the community that way. And if you'd like to be a part of this community, if this hit your vibe, you might like to subscribe, and we'd love to have you along for this journey. Thank you so much for allowing me to be your messenger today, allowing me to be that servant and that reflection for you. I look forward to seeing you again very soon. And until then, we're going to go on to group number 3. Okay, group number 3, what is coming for you in this next cycle, looking at the completions and the new beginnings through this Lunar New Year energy of the Year of the Metal Rat. So first we'll look at what are the major themes that emerged for you in the past cycle. We have the stars. So you have been really finding that light at the end of the tunnel. So it could have been that it was a rough cycle for you in the last, could be week, could be month, could be year, could be decade, could be 60 years. But you finally began to find that light at the end of the tunnel. And this is also happening in Aquarius season. This card is ruled by Aquarius. So coming into that inner revolutionary period, and that sort of insight in your mind, in that sort of mental domain, and how you can set yourself free. Really beautiful card. So what are the lessons that you've been integrating in the past cycle? Group number 3, we have the Queen of Swords in reverse. Very interesting. So the Queen of Swords is, the feminine, mature energy of the mind coming up in reverse. She's very cold. She's very distant. She's got that sword up. She's like, don't touch me. Right? So it could be that you've been very defensive, especially mentally. You've been very distant. You've been keeping yourself distant from other people because you've been maybe afraid of what they'd think of you. Maybe you've been afraid of, like coming into the gifts of the mind that you have. I very much resonate with this card in particular. That's been a lot of my experience in the past cycle. So if that resonates for you, I'm right there with you. What are the aspirations, the things that you're aiming to manifest in your life in the next cycle? We have the Two of Wands. So you're looking to find balance in your energetic expression of yourself, in your spiritual expression of yourself. Also, you're looking to plan things more. So the planning is what comes through with the Two of Wands. And possibly also looking back into the past to get more of a perspective on what the future might be, looking at that reflection of yourself and how you've been in that past to begin to take a new direction, coming into that space of balance. So what are the things that support you and the aspirations that you hold? The Ten of Pentacles in reverse. All right, so the Ten of Pentacles is all about completion and physical abundance, especially physical abundance that's come through from the ancestors. So coming up in reverse, it could be that, again, with this Aquarius energy, you are releasing traditions. You're releasing things from the past, especially physical things from the past. Could be, like a Marie Kondo, cleaning out the house kind of a thing. You're no longer holding on to the things that don't serve you anymore. And possibly also letting go of limiting beliefs around money. Again, another thing I resonate with quite a lot right now. So what are the things that might be challenging you in the aspirations that you have for the next cycle? We have Temperance. So your challenge might be to allow yourself to expand, to allow yourself to trust that you do have the inner healing capacity for yourself. Coming up under the stars here, you are beginning to see that ray of light, that ray of hope at the end of the tunnel, but you may not be quite in the space where you're actively realizing that you are the source of that light. So she's cultivating this, she's generating this antidote to the poisons that the Fool in this journey has taken on, but she's doing so from this emotional body that chalices. So you have the healing capacity within yourself, in your heart, to release this Queen of Swords energy, but you have to trust that it's there and be challenging yourself to be that inner alchemist. What are the emotional and romantic connections that you might be experiencing in the next cycle? We have the Queen of Pentacles, all right. So you might be finding yourself connecting to a very nurturing and physically abundant feminine energy. It could be a lover who is actually, feminine aligned, or it could just be someone who has a lot of that feminine quality to them. Everyone has feminine and masculine traits, no matter what their gender is. So that connection could be, again, with someone who could be a parent or could be very mothering, very, very nurturing for you. Could help you sort of bring out more of that cold Queen of Swords reversed energy and make it more warm and loving and nourishing. She reminds me of one of my yoga teaching instructors who was also very supportive of me in releasing that Queen of Swords energy and myself. So what are the financial and career outlooks for you in the next cycle? We have the Eight of Pentacles. All right, so you are looking to manifest quite a lot of physical financial abundance in your life, and you are supported in doing so. We've got this manifestation 8, as above so below, so making sure that you are aligning yourself internally to bring about the external creation that you desire, but you're going to be very industrious and you're looking to be very productive in your career domain in the next cycle, and that's supporting what you're trying to manifest. What is coming for you in the emotional connections, the emotional domain? This is the emotional one. This is the well-being, the physical well-being. You have the Six of Wands, so victory. Whatever you're trying to bring about in your physical well-being, also your mental well-being, this could be spiritual well-being, you're quite victorious. So coming home from whatever it is that you've gone out to go and create, you're supported that you will be able to do so. We've also got this energy of sort of this army behind you, so you're supported in your well-being to call in your army of spiritual support, or your spiritual support team and your physical support team. So maybe hiring a trainer, getting into a community of exercise community who support each other in keeping each other accountable for eating good food, maybe joining some kind of recipe group, or maybe ordering one of those meal box services that help you by taking the guesswork out of what a good healthy meal might be. So all of these things that are sort of bringing in this army of support behind you that will make you victorious, and you are definitely supported in having that. Again, possibly with this energy of letting go of those practices and habits that you've maybe even just inherited by default from the way that your parents have done things, or the way that your ancestors have done things, and really taking on that new community approach to stepping out into what you actually want to be and do in this well-being domain. And what are you looking for experiencing in the spiritual domain in the next cycle? We have the Seven of Pentacles. So in the spiritual domain, you've got a lot of, I'm seeing karmic rewards coming through here. You've sown this seed karmically, and it's coming to its maturity, it's bearing fruit, but it's not quite ready yet. So what you're asked to do is sit in this space of being content with acknowledging the progress that has been made, but also being patient that it might not be physically present or really actively obvious to your, especially your linear sort of 3D literalist expression of it just yet. So what are some of the main things you should really focus your attention on in the next cycle? We have the Ten of Swords in reverse. Yep. So again, coming through, finding that light at the end of the tunnel could be very well indicating that you have had quite a long dark night ahead of you. You've maybe come through a few or more tower moments. The Ten of Swords is that sort of expression of the minor arcana energy of the tower. So this is what it feels like to go through a tower moment, especially coming up in the upright. But coming up in reverse, this indicates that that is all behind you. It also means that internally you are being supported in releasing this this energy that made you maybe a little bit bitter, that made you a little bit jaded. What you need to really pay your attention to is to bring about that healing for yourself. And that should be a high priority because you're supported in being victorious in that. What are the most important lessons coming for you in the next cycle? Ten of Chalices, beautiful. So you really need to learn about love and learn about bringing about that romantic, happy ending, that completion, that fulfilling family life, that fulfilling connection with others. Because you got this, especially you got this reversed Queen of Swords. You've been disconnected for a while, and you've been really focusing on being productive, but bringing that nurturing energy back in for you. And finding this happy family life that's here for you. If you just need to, it's already here, you just need to realize it. So calling in that community. And finally, what is the overall theme for the year and the cycle ahead? We have the Five of Chalices in reverse. So Five of Chalices upright speaks of not really looking to the things that are coming ahead of you because you're stuck in nostalgia, you're stuck in thinking about how great the past was. But again, pairing with this reversal of the Ten of Pentacles, you're releasing that over sort of like that obsession with the past. Maybe this is an indication, if this is something that resonates for you, a past life regression or just something karmically that may have been blocking you from getting these things that are coming to you. Your overall context is coming to allow those things to pass, and really focusing in on the emotional fulfillment in particular that's still here for you. Filling your own cup by looking forward, not looking back. And the context, the back of the deck energy for you, group number 3, we have the Knave of Chalices in reverse. So the Knave of Chalices is bringing the emotional body into a new direction. So really grounding the emotional body, because the knaves are the pages, bringing the earth energy, so that grounding energy. Bringing it in reverse, this could be an indication that you are a little bit avoidant of your emotions, because again, we have this theme of especially the new stuff that's coming forward for you, something that may be still challenging for you, is how you deal with your emotional body, how you deal with the emotions that maybe with this Queen of Swords in reverse, you still feel like emotions are weakness, and that is something that you need to release and come to that inner healing through the emotions by directing your energy to seeing how you can bring about that revolution of that Aquarian energy into how you express yourself emotionally. And that's the background energy for you. what are the healing words of wisdom for you, group number 3? We have develop awe and reverence for life. Awe is one of the highest vibrational emotions that we can experience. That, along with gratitude and bliss, will really get you in that space where you can already see that you are in paradise. It really reminds me of that song from the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, that 1970s movie. I think it might be Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. I think it's from the Candyman song. So yes, we are already in many ways in hell, and we are already in many ways in paradise. All it is a matter of perspective. All it is a matter of looking at what is actually physically here for us and looking at it to see it, really see it. And even if you just look at your hand, if you even just look at the things, if you're living in a city, that we even have cities, is just a mind-boggling feat, especially if you look at any other animal on the planet, any other plant on the planet, any other being on the planet, that we do this. Maybe ants would be the closest to what we get, or bees, but like orders of magnitude difference, right? We've conquered every planet, every plane, everything but the depth of the ocean, and we still can visit there occasionally. Like, that's just insane what we've done as a species. So just taking a moment to twist your mind a little bit, and travel can be really supportive of doing this sort of thing, where you just like, you have your normal perspective and you just tilt it just a little bit, and that little bit of a tilt is just like, wow, look at all this amazing stuff that we have, and how is it possible that I get to be here in this time? It's so amazing. Anything, and also just actively seeking out things in whatever media you're consuming that give you that sense of awe. So like listening to inspiring speakers, or I just saw an Instagram clip of this group of people who are on a ship to whale watch, and there's this humpback whale that jumped up and went into the water, and just like the Leviathan. This world is so full of amazing things. So just taking that moment to cultivate awe, and that will get you so much more into that space where you want to be, where you can heal yourself, you can take on these new energies, releasing the old and coming into this emotional completion. So that's what I have for you, group number 3. Thank you so much for allowing me to be the messenger for your guide for this reading today. I do hope that you will let me know how this reading sits with you in the comments below. And if you like this video, please do give it a like. And if it really hit your vibe, I'd love to have you join this community by subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much again for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you again very soon. And until that time, go in peace to love and to serve. Namaste.